Factsverse presents. When girl who waves at cop suddenly stops, he knows something is wrong. In today's world, police officers will usually get a bad rap. A few unscrupulous officers have ruined the reputation of the profession for all of them. Fortunately, there are stories, though, about wonderful police officers who go above and beyond for the citizens they protect. And this is one of those stories. When Klynn Scales was just 9 years old, she lived a pretty tough life. She lived in a dangerous part of Kansas City, Missouri, and her neighborhood had a reputation for crime and drug use. She lived with her mother and her two brothers. Her mother was rarely at home, which left Klynn to care for her younger brothers. There was never any food in the family's home, and the kids would often go hungry. Since their mother was never around, it was up to Klynn to try and find some food for herself and her brothers. Since she was only 9 years old, she didn't have any money, and that meant that she'd have to steal from the local 7-Eleven to bring food home for her family. It didn't take long for the officers in the area to know what was going on with the Scales family. They knew these children were living in poverty and they were not doing well. When the clerk at 7-Eleven saw Klynn stealing, they knew that they could call the police and someone would come to cover the cost of the food. They didn't know any other way to help these desperate children. An officer on the force, Jeff Colvin, he knew how hard things were for the family, and he also did his part to make their lives a bit easier. Jeff would often patrol the area where the Scales family lived, and he made it a point to check up on the children to make sure that they were all right. His daily patrols were something that Klynn actually looked forward to. Every day she would stand in the window and wait for him to walk by. When he walked by, she'd wave at him, and this became a daily ritual for the two. When Jeff would walk by, he says that girl's smile would light up her whole face. When Jeff walked by one day, though, and didn't see Klynn, he began to worry. He knew that she loved his daily visits, and the fact that she wasn't in the window that day caused him some great concern. When Jeff didn't see Klynn in the window, he decided he'd go to check on her. He knew that her mother wasn't around often, so he went up to the door. When he looked inside, he saw her lying on the floor trying to catch her breath. He quickly rushed her to the emergency room. He sat and waited to hear from the doctor, and it broke his heart when he found out that she was suffering from severe malnutrition. Shortly after this episode, the family moved to Texas, and Klynn never had a chance to thank her hero. It was 20 years after Jeff saved Klynn's life, and she decided to try and seek him out to thank him. She created a post on Facebook about what had happened to her all those years earlier, hoping that somebody would see it and help her find her hero. Jennifer Jones, a sergeant with the Kansas City Police Department, saw her post letting Klynn know that she knew who she was talking about. She also sent Jeff an email letting him know that Klynn was looking for him, and he immediately knew who she was talking about. When Klynn got in touch with Jeff, she decided to take a trip to Kansas City to reunite with her guardian angel. As soon as she saw Jeff, Klynn broke down in tears. Jeff was also very moved. He says that meeting with Klynn reminded him of the reason that he became a police officer in the first place. Jeff says that many police officers will go their entire lives, their entire careers, without realizing that they'd helped somebody out. Meeting up with Klynn again reminded him that he had. Klynn told Jeff that not only did he save her life as a child, but he also put her on her current career track. She told him that she was enrolled as a police recruit back home in Houston. Jeff was thrilled he had that kind of an impact on Klynn's life. After telling Jeff that she was going to be a police officer, Klynn had another surprise for him. She showed him a bracelet that she had made, and it reads, "Sergeant Jeff Colvin, a true hero." She posted a photo of the bracelet and pictures from her trip to meet Jeff on Facebook. The Kansas City Police, they shared the post to their Facebook page, and Jeff was shocked to see all the comments that people were leaving. Many of them mentioned him personally and the ways that he had helped them as well. For him, it was very humbling. He was just glad he was able to help somebody during his career. Have you had a great experience with a police officer? If so, tell us your story in the comments below and subscribe for more.